Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're joining me for practice. My name's Kaylee. When you're ready, you can meet me on your mat on your back. This will be about a 45-minute practice. Fingers crossed, I'll keep my eye on the clock, so hopefully you don't have to worry about timing or anything. But go ahead and take a moment to lie down onto your back. If it feels like you need to stretch out for a second, before you can settle, that is okay. We will do some movement on the back before we get going. When you feel like you can start to settle in, set the feet down underneath the knees and just let the hands land somewhere on the torso. Wherever they go is fine. Wherever they land is just right. Just starting to settle into your body. Maybe taking some deeper breaths, or allowing the mindfulness of the breath, however it is showing up. It's so important at the beginning of any kind of movement practice to kind of prime your nervous system, especially a more dynamic practice like a vinyasa. So giving your body a moment to settle, giving your mind a place to land. Few deeper cycles of breath here. As you feel ready, inhale through the nose, let the belly fill up like you're filling a balloon. Let the breath move into the ribs. Hold the breath for a moment at the top and then open mouth exhale. Two more deep breaths. So deep, clear breath into the nose, filling all the way up, holding at the top. Open mouth exhale. Let the hips and the pelvis relax a bit more. Last time here, deep breath into the nose. Little pause, sip in some more breath. And sigh it out slowly. Bring the arms into a goalpost or a T from here. And then start to windshield wiper the knees real slow. Small range of motion to start. So just warming up the hips. It might even feel good to do a tiny tip to the tailbone, tiny scoop of the pelvis, so that you're really rolling the whole sacral space, that whole lower back. If it feels good, just start to increase the range of motion a little bit. Into a little bit more of a rotation, a little bit more twist to the sides of the waist. And then go ahead and bring the knees still through the center here. You're going to keep the elbows down, but bring the forearms off of the floor. So the forearms will be perpendicular to the floor. Press into the elbows. Arch your back, finding some thoracic extension. So getting into that upper back. Think about cow stretch here. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, release the back down and then give yourself a hug, reaching the fingers for the opposite shoulders, letting the shoulders kind of peel away from the floor, rounding through the back. Let's do that again. Inhale the elbows down, arch the spine, the hips stay down, the back of the head stays down. Exhale, give yourself a squeeze. Think about two more here, moving with your breath. Can be a pretty gentle range of motion, but starting to warm up through the shoulders and the upper back so that as we move through practice and do things like back bends, we're not just dumping into the lower spine, we're really getting that whole spine into extension and opening through the chest. Let's go ahead and reach the arms back overhead on this next deep breath in, opening up through the side body. And then bring your hands to your knees. Circle the knees away from one another and then back in. That wax on, wax off. Kind of soaking up the hip joint, that synovial fluid. Switch the direction of those rotations. And bring your hands behind the knees. Extend the legs up toward the ceiling. Point the toes. Flex the feet. Let's circle out the feet and the ankles. So put a little space between the feet so that you can really circle the ankles, forming up that joint between the feet and the legs for all of our standing postures. Switch the direction of those rotations. All right, keep the left leg up, bring the right knee down. A little hamstring stretch here, giving that left leg a gentle little pull in, not forcing it. Totally okay to have a bend in the knee here as well. Take a big breath in here. Exhale the left foot down underneath the left hip. Let's come into a hip bridge. So lift the hips up, squeezing the glutes. Stay here, or if you need a little bit more, lift the heels. The inner thighs are hugging in toward each other here. For 3, relax the jaw and the eyes. For 2, lift high on 1, breathe in. And then lower down gently. Keep the left foot down, bring the right leg in. Hamstring stretch on this side. Nice place to notice if there's any disparity between the right and the left, right? So if you have more range of motion in one side of the body, most of us do have a side of the body that's a little bit more open, or maybe there's some difference between, left leg might be more open and right arm. So just having that really kind of sensitive awareness, really intimate awareness of your body. Take another breath here. When the right foot comes down, the hips are going to come up back into our glute bridge. This one, let's take a dynamic glute bridge. This is the inhale here. Exhale, lower it down slow. A couple more times. Inhale, lift. Exhale, take it down slow. Maybe not even lowering all the way, just until you feel the floor barely skimming the back of your pants or the back of your shirt, and then lifting right back up. Push more through the right foot, and then push more through the left foot. And then see if you can even out the pressure between the feet. Last 4. I'm counting down, not necessarily the number of reps here, just 3, 2, knees to chest on 1. Hug it in. Take your time to rock forward and backward until you can work your way to your hands and your knees. We'll come onto all 4s with the wrists beneath the shoulders, the knees beneath the hips, and then circle the shoulders a couple times around the wrists here. Fingers are spread pretty wide. Real mindful of that foundation between your hands and the mat. Switch the direction of those rotations. All right, from here we're going to take it into plank pose, 1 foot at a time, and then walk the feet a little bit wider than hips distance, all the way to the edges of your yoga mat here. Press the palms down, and then imagine that you're pulling the hands in toward each other, trying to get the thumbs to touch. They're not going to actually move, perhaps, but you should feel the pecs, the front of the chest, start to light up. Soft jaw here for 3, for 2, down dog on 1, press it back, walk the feet up a little bit and in so that they're hips distance apart. And then move around in any way that feels good in your downward facing dog, prioritizing that lift in the that lift in the pelvis and the hips. Might feel good to pedal it out. Maybe, like me, if you started in long sleeves, you might be ready to ditch a layer. Vinyasa is a warming practice. And then think about where you can engage in a way that's going to be really supportive for your body today. Maybe the arms, maybe the legs, walking the feet to the top of the mat when you're ready. So starting to set up that intention. Catching the opposite elbows, finding a little bit of a sway here in your ragdoll. Giving the head a good shake or a gentle nod. Release the fingers down, and then vertebra by vertebra, roll it up slow. The chin will be the last thing to lift up here. Once your shoulders are over your hips, reach the arms up. Come onto the balls of the feet, a little balance challenge as you breathe in. Bring the hands to the heart, lower the heels to the mat. Let the eyes soften, maybe even close all the way down. Just checking in here. Our practice today, setting up an intention to really be on your own team, on your body's team, finding ways to collaborate with your muscles, your joints, moving in a way that feels really, really beneficial for you. So not forcing anything, but maybe giving yourself a little cheerleading, a little encouragement or support if you notice the mind starting to kind of switch sides on you. Keep rooting for yourself in whatever you need here today. Release the palms to the sides. Open through the chest, blink the eyes open, inhale the arms up. And then fold forward, hinging at the hips, softening through the knees, letting the head drop all the way down. Surya Namaskar A. Slide the palms to the shins as you find your halfway stretch here. Find a natural spine. So finding that length in the spine from the hip creases and the tailbone pulling back. Notice the tendency to lift the chin. See if you can drop the chin, but reach the crown of the head forward. Then plant the hands under the shoulders, step the feet to the back for plank pose as you rock forward. This first time lower all the way down. Keep squeezing the palms in toward each other to keep the pecs active. Walk the fingers away from you off of the mat. Come onto the tops of the feet as you roll it up into a wide arm cobra here. Breathe in. And then release the right shoulder down, look to the left as you breathe out. Come back up to your wide arm cobra, inhale. Left shoulder drops down, look to the right on the exhale. So focusing on that whole length of the spine, we prepped it. Come back to the center, breathe in. So it's not just the lower back here. We're finding that extension all the way up to the base of the skull. And then release it down slowly on the exhale. Tuck the toes under, plant the hands under your shoulders, and then press back to downward facing dog. And use your knees. Take a couple breath cycles here. We're going to pick up the pace a little bit in just a moment and take about 2 to 3 more rounds of sun salutation A, warming up the body here, moving with intention. Look forward when you're ready, and then walk your feet to the top of the mat. Find your halfway stretch, Milo's joint being here, breathe in. He may or may not come onto the camera screen. Forward fold as you breathe out. All the way up on the inhale, big full body stretch, option to lift the heels if you like. And then take it right back down, heels down as you fold forward. Halfway stretch, breathe in. Plant the hands, step the feet to the back for plank, rock forward, lower half or all the way down this time. Come into cobra or upward facing dog. Pause, really finishing that inhale, looking from shoulder to shoulder. And then downward facing dog. Look at the knees or the navel, take a breath in. Long breath out, soft through the jaw here. Lift the heels on your inhale, send some weight forward, empty the breath. And then step or hop to the top of the mat. Halfway stretch, breathe in. Forward fold, exhale. Rise with the inhale, focusing on the breath. Take it right back down as you empty all the way out. Halfway lift, breathe in. Plant the hands, step back, and then flow through your vinyasa. When you get to downward facing dog, you pause there for a breath or maybe a few breaths, and then move through one more round of this sun salute A. So there's not a wrong way to do this, just breathing and moving. If you're brand new to the practice, somebody made up this sequence at some point based on how their body was feeling, based on how their body was responding. So if at any point you need to take a variation or move in a way that feels really aligned for you, in a way that's different perhaps than what I'm suggesting, please do that. You are the expert on your body. Get back to the top of the mat. We'll land in chair pose together. Feet either together or hips distance as you sink your hips back, reach the arms forward and then upward. Think about bringing the spine and the shins parallel to one another. So notice if you're arching the lower back, tiny tip to the tailbone, pushing the feet down into the mat, and then energetically pulling the feet away from one another, going into the outer edges of the hips and thighs. Take it a little bit lower for 3 deep, clear breaths through the nose for 2. Long inhale. Forward fold, exhale. Keep the right foot down. Lift the left leg, finding a variation of a standing splits here. It might feel good to take that leg really high. It may feel better. For me, it feels better to keep the leg pretty much parallel to the floor here. And it may also feel a-okay to just barely have the left toes off of the mat. Take another breath in, really stretch out through the left foot, and then step your left foot to the back of the mat, release the left knee underneath the left hip, walk the hands to the right thigh as you lift the chest. Take the arms up overhead here, breathe in. And then release the right forearm to the right thigh, finding a side stretch. Left arm is going to come up and over. Notice if you're collapsing the chest forward, see if you can rotate that left underarm open. The left toes can be tucked if that helps you find some balance here. Or they can be untucked, whatever feels most natural in that back leg. Come back to the center. Breathe in. Bend the elbows, finding a trident shape or a W shape in the arms here. Pulling the elbows and the shoulders down. Interlace the hands at the lower back. Take a breath in. As you lift the chin, keep the tail tucked, but thrust the hips forward until you feel something in the front of the left hip or thigh. And then release the fingers down around the right foot to frame out the right foot, straightening the right leg out a little bit for a hamstring stretch. We're going to keep this dynamic today, so go ahead and move forward and backward into this hamstring stretch. As you shift back and straighten the right leg, you'll feel that lengthening in the back of the right thigh. And as you shift forward and bend the right knee, you bring the stretch into the front of the left thigh and hip. The next time you've got that front knee bent, well, both knees are bent, but the next time your right knee is over the right ankle, stay there for a moment, tuck the left toes under. Left hand's under the left shoulder, lift the left knee and the right arm, rotating the torso to the right for a twist, for dragonfly twist here, rooting down to the base of the big toes on the feet. Send the hips back, reach the crown of the head forward away from your breastbone as you breathe in. And then release the right hand down, step the right foot to the back of the mat, plank pose, rock forward, lowering half or all the way down. Cobra or upward dog, finish your breath there. Back to downward facing dog on the exhale. Take a breath in through the nose here. Open up, exhale, relax the jaw. The right leg comes up. Big stretch in three-legged dog there. Bend the right knee, externally opening through that right hip. Nice place to bring some movement into the right ankle, or even to make some big circles with your right knee. Switching the direction of those circles in the ankle or the knee. Re-extending the right leg on an in-breath. Step the right foot, then the left foot to the top of the mat as you exhale. Chair pose is the inhale. Keep the hips low, pump the breath. Lightning chair on the exhale, option to lift the heels. Back to chair, breathe in. Lightning chair, option to lift the heels. Once more like that, inhale chair. Exhale, lightning. Stand all the way up, heels down, arms up on the inhale. Hook the thumbs together over your head. Bend the elbows and then pull the arms back as you draw the heart through and up. Tugging the thumbs against one another, and then release that thumb bind. Reach the arms up, breathe in. Bow forward as you empty. This time the left foot's going to stay down. Right leg comes up back behind you for your variation on your standing splits here. And just checking in again with any difference in the range of motion on this side versus the left. Just having that intimate awareness of your own body. We're going to step the right foot to the back of the mat, releasing the right knee down, bringing the hands to the left thigh to lift the chest. Arms come up, big breath in. Left forearm, left thigh, right arm up and over for your side stretch. And breathe into that space between the right ribs, those intercostals. Come back up through the center on your inhale. Bend the elbows, find that W, goalpost, cactus shape. Interlace your hands, but see if you can take the interlace with the opposite pinky on top. So whichever way feels a little awkward, probably tug the arms back as you gently lift the chin, opening up the throat and the chest to breathe in. And then release the bind, release the fingers to frame the left foot, straighten out the left leg a bit for your hamstring on Vinyasa stretch. Dynamically moving back and forth on this side. See if you can find a pace and a range of motion that feels supportive today. Bringing a lot of stimulation into the hip, knee, and ankle joints here. Really great way to stimulate, again, that fluid in the joint spaces. Those joints healthy. And then the next time, you've got the left knee bent over the left ankle. Keep it there. Right hand under the right shoulder, right toes tucked. Inhale the left arm up and open, rotating the torso to the left. Dragonfly twist. Try and stack the shoulders and the wrists here. So notice if that arm's way back or way forward. And if that feels funky in the body, if that's awkward in your left shoulder, you can always bend the left elbow. Try and stack the left shoulder on top of the right shoulder and the right wrist. Take another deep inhale. High push up to low push up through your vinyasa. We'll meet up in downward facing dog. In downward facing dog, inhale your left leg. Bend the left knee for that external rotation. Maybe finding some circular movement with the top ankle or the top knee. That circular motion, if you're moving the top knee, is really actually coming into the hip, right? Re-extend the left leg, breathe in. Both feet step to the top of the mat as you exhale. Chair pose is your in-breath. Lightning chair is your exhale option to lift the heels. We'll do a set of 3 here, so 2 more. Inhale, chair. Exhale, lightning. There's 2, 1 more, breathe in. Breathe out. Heels down all the way up on the inhale, hooking the thumbs, taking a little baby back bend, and then forward fold on the exhale. Halfway stretch here, breathe in. Step back, high to low push up through your vinyasa again. We'll meet up in downward facing dog. Then we'll put together a new flow. From downward facing dog, right leg lifts first. Take a breath in. Step the right foot forward on the exhale. Keep the left hand down. Inhale the right arm open. So we're in that dragonfly twist. And then exhale, take about a quarter of a turn to the left, pivoting the toes to the left so you're in a wide straddle. Fingers are under the shoulders as you breathe in. And then forward fold in this straddle, walking the hands maybe back behind you, turning the fingertips around so the fingers are pointing in the same direction as the heels. And then crawling the fingers off to that other side of the mat to pull yourself into this forward fold. Keep the heels down for your balance, but play with shifting your weight toward the balls of the feet here. And then keep the straddle, but walk the hands forward again so they're underneath your shoulders. Tent the right fingers directly beneath the chest, and then inhale your left arm up and open. So you're finding a twist to the back. Take a breath in. Pivot the hands and the toes to the top as you exhale. Spin the back heel up. We're going to come all the way into Crescent Lunge. Push into your feet, press the mat away as you lift the arms up. Finding Crescent Lunge here. Set the eyes to one spot in front of you, your focal point, your drishti, and then soften that gaze. So sometimes when we're focusing on balance, we can get really, really serious about it. It's fine to take this practice seriously, but see if you can soften the muscles around your eyes. Maybe looking at the farthest spot in the distance that you can find. If you happen to be looking out a window, awesome. Find a little leaf or a branch on a tree across the street. Take another long inhale. Sweep the arms back. So this is a lightning crescent here. Shift the weight forward without using momentum. Come up onto the left tippy toes and then drag that left foot up. Finding airplane pose, finding your balance. Again, picking a focal point. This time, best focal point for balance is probably going to be about 3 to 4 feet in front of your right toes on the floor. So keeping that neck neutral. From airplane, we're going to bring that left knee into the chest, reaching the arms up overhead. Big, deep inhale. Bring the left ankle to the top of the right thigh as you bend the right knee, finding a figure 4 stretch, hands to heart center in Anjali, or bring your hands to your hip creases. Send the hips back. Look for some sensation in the outside of the left hip and thigh. For 3. For 2. We're going to bring that left knee and the arms up again on 1. Inhale, take it high. Airplane pose again on the exhale, swing that leg back. Drop the ball of the left foot down. Inhale, back to crescent lunge. So we're rewinding, but this time we're going to add on. Take an open arm twist to the right. Keep the hips low if you can. Keep the right knee directly over the right ankle. Reach the left arm forward and then up as you bring the right fingertips down toward the outside of the left leg for revolved crescent. Opening up through the left side body, slowly lower the left knee all the way down to the mat. Take a breath in, and then bring your hands to frame the right foot. Splits pose on the exhale, Hanumanasana here. This time we'll hold splits for a moment. So if you want to work to full split, I don't want to work to full splits, but if your body is feeling really warm and open and that range of motion feels good for you, feel free to come into a full split here or toward a full split. Again, collaborating with your body exactly as it is in this moment. About 3 more breaths, option to close the eyes here. Really diving into the sensations in the body. One more deep inhale. Let gravity help you into that stretch a little bit more on your exhale. We're going to come back to our dragonfly twist. Rebend the right knee, left hand down underneath the left shoulder. Peel the right arm up and open as you breathe in. We're going to take a tricky transition here. See if you can start to shift the weight to the left hand, pivot the left heel down. The right foot's going to come all the way up and back behind you into wild thing, pressing into the ball of the right foot, lifting up, finding a little bit of a back bend here. Finish an inhale. Flow through your vinyasa, meeting up in downward facing dog, moving with your breath. And then we'll explore that sequence on the other side. Left leg lifts, breathe in, use your breath. Step the left foot forward, keep the right hand down on the exhale. Left arm opens, dragonfly on this side. And then take that quarter of a turn for your wide-legged straddle, pivoting the toes toward the right side of the mat. Letting the head drop as you walk the fingertips back between the heels onto the floor outside of your mat perhaps. Nice place to do a little neck check. Notice if you're picking up a bunch of tension in the neck or the jaw. See if you can shake it out a bit. If you have a tendency to clench your teeth, feel free to open the mouth and actually move the hinges of the jaw around a little bit. Sounds silly, but it's really helpful in letting go of some of that tension, those patterned habits that we have of holding tension in the body. Walk the fingertips back to the right side of the mat. Left fingertips tuck underneath your chest. Right arm comes up and opens. Send the weight toward the heels. Hips are pulling back. Heart is pulling forward. Breathe in. Sweep the hands to the top of the mat. Pivot the toes forward. Push into the feet. Full crescent lunge. Arms come up. Finding that focal point for the eyes somewhere on the horizon. And then taking those deep, relaxed breaths here. Lightning crescent, hinge at the hips, sweep the arms back. Start to send the weight forward, coming up onto maybe the right big toenail, and then dragging it off the mat into airplane. See if you can steer the right hip and the right knee down. So the pelvis is flat and level, and we're not rotating open to that right side. I'm gonna take a little bit more core strength that way. Slow motion, right knee comes to the chest, arms come up on an in-breath. And then we'll set up that figure four, right ankle over the top of the left thigh, bend the left knee as you hinge at the hips so the chest comes forward, lean forward, booty back, hands to your heart in Anjali Mudra, or hands to the hip creases for a little bit of that feedback in the body. Use the thumbs and hook them into the creases of the hips. And then you're pressing the hip creases back and down here. Feeling into that stretch sensation in the outer edge of the right hip and thigh. We're going to bring the right knee up and the arms up again. Inhale as you reach and lift. Airplane pose on the exhale. Kick that right heel back. Crescent lunge. Drop the ball of the foot. Reach the arms up as you breathe in. And then rotate the torso to the left. Open the arms. Notice if you're leaning forward here, so you can stack the shoulders over the wrist a little bit until you feel that kind of edgy, challenging spot. Then reach forward the right fingertips, take it up into your revolved crescent. Slow motion like you're riding a really slow elevator. Lower that right knee down to the mat. One more inhale, arching the back a bit, and then hands frame the left foot for your split on this side. This is that time where, as opposed to the beginning, when we were moving a little bit more dynamically, see if you can find a static version of the stretch. Maybe about 80% of your max. So it's not always about going to that very, very, very end range of motion where the nervous system is like hyper vigilant that it's ready to have a little bit of a reflexive reaction to protect you from overstretching. See if you can stop yourself before you get there. And then let the stretch be beneficial as opposed to potentially an unneeded amount of risk, right? 3 more cycles of breath, option to close the eyes. Just really breathe into whatever sensations are unfolding in your body. Back of the left leg, maybe around the neck or the spine, wherever you're feeling sensation. One last breath cycle with it. Back to Dragonfly twist. Rebend the left knee, right hand over the right shoulder. Lift the back knee, inhale the left arm. Start to pivot that right heel down to the right. Press into the right hand. We're going to pick up the left foot. Ooh, and then bring it all the way back behind you. That's hard for you. It's hard for me too. Remember, we're collaborating with our bodies exactly as they are in this moment. Take a breath in. And then flow through your vinyasa. We'll meet in downward facing dog. And then we're going to move through that whole sequence. One time through with a little bonus glute work. So from downward facing dog, when you're ready, right leg up on an inhale. Right foot between the thumbs on the exhale. Right arm peels open. Dragonfly twist as you breathe in. Quarter of a turn to the left as you exhale for your straddle. Right fingers down underneath the chest. Inhale, the left arm opens, twisting to the back. And then sweep the hands to the top of the mat, setting up for crescent lunge. Rise to crescent on the inhale. We're gonna fly right into airplane pose on the exhale here. All right, start to bend the right knee, that front knee. Bring your body into a diagonal and then tap the left toes down without putting any weight in that left foot. From here, we're gonna straighten the right leg out, bring the left knee up just a little bit, and then tap it back. Up just a little bit and tap it back. So looking to feel the muscles in the back of the right thigh and the right glutes. For 3 more. For 2 more. No weight is going in that left foot. No arching in the low back. Last time, you're going to step the left foot up underneath the left hip, but keep the knees bent. Bring the hands to your heart. We're going to take a walk to the left, just 1 step to the left, right step, right foot to the left, and then 1 step to the right foot, left foot back to the center. Tap the left toes back behind, lightning wings, and then bring that left foot in. Keep the right knee bent for 3, for 2, and 1. Step the left foot under the left hip, knees stay bent, hands to your heart. 1 step left, 1 step right. Again, tap to the back, tap to the back, tap to the back 4 times. Keep the knees bent, hands to the heart. Step to the left, step to the right. Once more. Tap, tap. 3, 2, 1. Step left, step right. Last time. Tap, tap, tap. Last one. Back into airplane pose. Holy moly, breathe in. Crescent lunge, step the foot to the back. Inhale, the arms up. This time, we're gonna straighten out the right leg. Bring the hands on either side of that right leg. Step the left foot forward a bit for pyramid pose. Nice place to bring your hands onto the right shin or onto blocks if you happen to have blocks. I have one here so I can show you what I mean. I would bring one underneath each shoulder, ideally. Hopefully that feels like a nice release for that right leg. If you've got a block, good for you. Bring it underneath the left shoulder, left hand down. Inhale the right arm up and open. So we're in a revolved triangle. This is potentially possible with the left hand down. Feels way better in my body to bring that floor up a little higher for my left palm. Take a big breath there. And then release that hand down. Step the left foot to the top of the mat. Chair pose, breathe in. Lightening as you exhale. 2 more, inhale. Exhale. Last one, breathe in. Lightening as you breathe out, stand all the way up, straight arms and legs on the in. Forward fold on the out. Halfway lift, breathe in. Plant the hands, step it back and flow through your vinyasa. We've got the left side to go. We're in home stretch. Working with your body, your breath, your mind here. Left leg starts us off, breathe in. We can have that bonus on the left glute though. Step it forward between the thumbs. Left arm, inhale. Prasarita, exhale for that straddle. Inhale the right arm up, twisting to the back. Sweep the hands to the top of the mat, pivot the toes forward. Crescent lunge is the inhale here. And then we're gonna fly forward into our airplane. And I guess as much as I'm cueing the breath here, please just breathe in whatever way feels best for you. We're gonna start to bend the left knee, find a diagonal line with the right leg and the spine. The right toes tap down, keep the weight in the left foot. So we're loading the left foot to keep that action in the back of the left thigh. Step the right toes forward and back for 4, 3, 2, 1. Right toes stand under the right hip or right foot all the way down. 1 step to the right, 1 step to the left. Back for 4, 3, 2, 1. Step right, step left. Again, tap to the back, 3, 2, 1. Go right and left, tap back 3, 2, 1. Last time, go right and left, tap back, 2, 1, right. What's that? 1.5 times left. Tap it back and then lift it up into airplane. Drop the ball of the foot. Inhale for crescent lunge. Pyramid on this side. Maybe bringing that block down or those blocks down underneath your shoulders. Holding over that left leg. Using your breath to support your body and calm your mind here. Bringing that right hand to a block if you've got one available. And then inhaling the left arm up and open for your twist, for your rotation. Finish an inhale here. Release that left hand down. Step the right foot to the top. Go ahead and separate the feet all the way to the edges of your mat. And then lower your hips down for Malasana, for garland pose here. You bring the hands to the heart, maybe find a little bit of a sway side to side. You can loosen any tension in the neck or the jaw. Option to try another kind of funky transition here. See if you can set the hips down. Bring your peace fingers to your big toes. And then roll it back to happy baby. You can get onto your back however you need to get there. And coming into happy baby. If the bind on the big toes isn't available, you can catch the outer or inner edges of the feet. Or you can bring your hands right behind the knees. So you've got these little kind of handles, these different options. Take a few breaths here. It might feel good to try and flatten the sacrum onto the mat, the hip creases toward the front of your mat. It can also feel better to bring a little bit of a slow rock, play around with straightening one leg, the other. Bring the knees into the chest. And then have a seat on the backs of your hands. Legs are straight up toward the ceiling or the sky if you're outside. Very cool, good for you. And then we're going to do some leg lifts here. So if you've got anything in the way from the top of the mat, you can go ahead and move it out of the way. Hover your right leg above the mat. Keep that core connection integrated. So you're pressing the low back down. Then lift the right leg up so you can lift the tailbone up. Lower the hips, lower the left heel till it's hovering. Lift the left leg, see if you can lift the tailbone. Take it side to side. Still breathing. Exhaling up. I like to purse my lips for the exhaling abs. And breathe out the nose, or out the mouth rather, excuse me, like you're cooling off a hot tea or soup. Keep it going. Relax the neck. Tuck the chin like you're holding an orange between your chin and your chest. We're here for 10. It's not the number of reps again. We're just going to count it down to 1 and then set up for glute bridges. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, on 1. Feet down underneath the knees. Hips up for your glute bridge. Lower and lift for 5, 4, press into the heels. 3, 2, keep the tuck in the tailbone. 1, hold it at the top, pull thighs in. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, stay up at the top. Option to hold here and breathe, unclench the jaw, or to bring the hands underneath the shoulders with the fingers pointing forward at the top of the mat, and then come up onto the crown of the head. From the crown of the head, you might straighten the arms into wheel, breathing. So you're either in bridge or in wheel, or if you're done, let yourself be done. Couple more deep, clear breaths. Finish an inhale, and then slowly release on the exhale. Bring the arms back into that cactus shape as you windshield wiper the knees side to side. A little extra space between the feet here. Starting to slow everything down a bit, preparing the body for Shavasana. Not quite yet. Unless you're ready to be there, go ahead and take Shavasana. Otherwise, we're going to finish with one more spinal twist. Bring the knees to the chest for a moment. And stack the knees and the ankles. Tee or cactus your left arm out to the left and then guide the knees to the right. The right hand can catch the crook of that left knee. Let your nose point straight up, or if it feels good, nod your chin toward your left shoulder. And then still practicing that mindfulness of breath. It's so important after all of that movement to give the body an opportunity to settle. Movement as well as rest. So vital to our overall well-being. And coming back to the center, pausing in the center for a moment. Maybe moving around a little bit, massaging the lower back, and then when you're ready, take the knees to the left, tee or cactus the right arm. Coming back to that intention of really working with your body, collaborating with this physical form that we've been gifted to move through life inside of. Taking really great care of it, trusting that everything that you did on your mat today is just as it was meant. Letting the practice be an offering to your own body, your mind, maybe your soul, if that resonates for you. Back to the center. Working your way toward Shavasana. Bringing the legs long in front of you. Putting some space between the feet here and then relaxing the arms down by the sides with the palms turned upright. See if you can get yourself as comfortable as possible here. If that means taking a variation with bent knees or even taking a variation on your side. And if you need a little bit more relaxation, if the body's having a hard time settling, we're going to squeeze the right leg, push the right heel down, squeeze the right glute, and make a fist with your right hand for a moment. Squeeze, 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 squeeze that whole right side body. Squeeze, 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 and then release the right hand and the right leg. Do that on the left. Squeeze the left leg, make a fist with the left hand, press the left heel down, left glutes and quads are squeezing as tight as you can. Squeeze, 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 and then release. We'll stay in Shavasana just about 30 seconds here today. Inviting a sense of heaviness into the body. Letting go of any deliberate control of the breath, just trusting your nervous system to regulate that on its own. Finding a spaciousness between the eyes, smoothing the forehead from brow to brow. And then just staying here for half of a moment and listen for the sound of my voice in about 30 seconds to call you up to a seat. If you happen to have more time for Shavasana, go ahead and turn me off and stay here for a little longer, setting your own timer. Bringing your awareness back to the room that you're in or the space that you're in. Noticing any sounds you can hear. starting to make some little movement with the fingers or the toes, nodding your head slowly side to side. Might feel good to stamp the feet down underneath the knees and take a breath in as you inhale, the arms back overhead. Exhale. And make your way to a seat, however you can get there. Keeping your focus turned inward just for a final moment here. Bringing the hands to the heart, either with the palms open against the chest and the fingers spread wide, so you're connecting with the big surface area, or coming into Anjali Mudra, with the thumbs nestled against the breastbone. As you take a deep breath in, breathe into the hands, lift the shoulders into the ears, squeeze it in, lift the shoulders a little bit higher. Open mouth, exhale. Relax the hands and thighs open. Thank you so much for spending some time with your body, your mind, your spirit, me. Hope this practice serves you well for the rest of your day. If you have questions, reach out and hopefully I'll see you soon.